Hello there. Now we're going to learn about solving equations with x on both sides. But this time it will be involving brackets. To start with, I would like you to do the starter. This is just some questions which you dealt with in last two lessons. You have learned about how to solve these kind of equations. Okay, so one was about, if you have something like this, you make sure that you do the opposite of what is saying in the equation. So if it is adding, you have to subtract. And if it is subtracting, you have to do the opposite of that, which is add. If it was multiply, then you divide, and if it is dividing, you multiply. Um, there was another thing that you needed to take care of, and that was that whatever you do to the left-hand side of equal to sign, you have to do the same on the right-hand side of equal to sign. So keep remember these things. There was another thing that we dealt with in last lesson, and that was when we had x on both sides of equal to sign. Now here when you had something like that, we were thinking of the minimum number of x's that we have. So here we have 14, here we have 4. So we get rid of the minimum number of x's so that we have x on just one side of equal to sign. Okay, so here you take away 4x and then you will be left with just an equation with x on one side of equal to sign. So try these equations. Pause the video here, and when you finish, come back to it so that we can discuss the answers and then move on to something which involves brackets. Okay, so your answers will be something like this. Yeah, part A, you get x equals to 4. Part B, you get x equals to 7. Part C, you'll get x equals to 4. And again, in part D, as I was saying, you had to take away 4x and you left with 10x because 14 take away 4 will be 10. And then you get x equals to 2. In part E, you will be adding 2x. The reason is that you wanted to get rid of this 2x, but here it was taking away, so therefore you had to add 2x. Okay? Um, and then here you had x equals to 3 as your answer. Again, take away 4x, so therefore you have to add 4x, and your answer therefore was x equals to negative 2. If you need to pause here and correct your answers, that's correct. That's okay to do that. But please do come back to it. And now let's discuss some questions which involve brackets. Now, whenever we are dealing with brackets, we have to expand the brackets to simplify it. Okay, so I'm going to now show you how to simplify or expand the brackets here. Now, when it says 8 brackets x plus 1, what does that mean? It means that they are saying that there are 8 lots of x plus 1s, which means that they are saying that we have to consider adding x plus 1 8 numbers of times. So we are adding x plus 1 to itself 8 times. So if we look at it, x plus x 8 times will give me 8x, and 1 plus 1 plus 1 adding it 8 times will give me 8. I don't therefore have to write all this. Okay, I can do it in one go like this. 8 times x, that's what we did here, isn't it? 8 times x, which is 8x, and 8 times 1, which is 8. And that's what we were getting here. So when we add this, our answer is 8x plus 8. Now let's try this one. I'm not going to write all this again. I will just remember what it means. Okay, so 7 times x, 7x, and 7 times 4 is 28. I add that up, and my answer is 7x plus 28. Will stay like that because this 7 has x with it. Okay, so I cannot just add 7 to 28. So my answer is 7x plus 28. Let's have a look at the one which has got takeaway sign. We do 6 times x as we did earlier, and then that means it's 6x, 6 times x, okay? And then I have to multiply the second number out as well. So it is 6 times negative 5. Now 6 times 5 is 30, so 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. When you add it, you get 6x minus 30. That's your answer. Now the next question. The difference between this one and this one is that this has got something in front of x as well. Doesn't matter, you deal with it the same way. So you do 4 times 2x, which is 8x, and 4 times negative 5, which is negative 20. So when you add that up, you get 8x minus 20. Okay? Now what I would like you to do is, I would like you to try these questions again. Focus it here. Do these questions clearly. Okay? So you have some examples here, and you do these questions for me. Pause the video here and then come back to it, and then I'll show you how to solve equations involving these kind of brackets. Okay? Okay. So your answers that you would have got to these questions look like this. Please pause the video to mark your answers. If you need to do corrections, please do so. Then you move on to the next bit that we are going to do now. Okay. Now let's have a look at these equations. These equations have they are involving brackets here. How do we deal with it? We expand the bracket first. That's the first step. Okay. Now some people might say, "Oh, we can do it without expanding brackets." Yes, you always can do that. But the thing is that if we learn this method, we can apply this method to simplify or solve more complicated equations, okay, where will have brackets on both sides of equal to sign. Okay, now let's have a look at this. So here, as I said, you will get 8x plus 8 equals to 32. Now what you do, you have dealt with these kind of equations before, so you take away 8 on both sides, you get 8x equals to 24, and you divide by 8, so you get x equals to 3. You can always check your answer. Substitute this in here. So in place of x you have 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. And 4 times 8 is 32. So it works. So my answer is correct. So always keep checking your answers in the same way. Here I will be having 5x minus 10, because 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times negative 2 is minus 10. So this gets replaced by this, and get 15. Now you add 10 on both sides. Similar thing as before. So we'll have 5x equals to 25. And now you divide by 5 on both sides, and you get x equals to 5. Okay. Now let's have a look at this equation. In this equation, you have x involved on this side of equal to sign, whereas here there was no x. So what do? Same thing again. First step, open the brackets. Then you deal with the minimum number of x's. This is the minimum number of x. You take away x from both sides. You get 7x plus 8 equals to 22. Now you take away 8 from both sides. So you get 7x equals to 14. And now you divide by 7 to get the value for 1x. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so 1x is written as x, and that's 2. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Okay, now let's have a look at part D. Very similar to this one that you dealt with. We had 4x plus 20 equals to x plus 26. Can you see that? 4 times x, 4x, and 4 times 5 is 20. Okay. Now you take away 20 from both sides. Sorry, you take away x from both sides because you want to deal with the x first. Okay. If you do it this way, it won't make any difference. But I prefer to deal with the x first, so that I have x on one side of equal to sign. And now you take away 20. So you have 3x equals to 6. Therefore, x equals to 2. Let's have a look at next one. We have brackets on both sides of equal sign. So what we do, we open the brackets. On this side, I'll have 3x plus 9. And on this side, I'll have 6 times x, 6 times minus 1. So it will be 6x, take away 6. Now, you take away 3x from both sides. Why do you do that? Because this is the minimum number of x's if you compare the 6x and 3x. Okay? So you'll have 9 left on this side, and on this side you'll have 3x minus 6. Rewrite it again so that you bring this on this side and you write this on this side. Now this equation is very similar to what we were dealing before. Okay? So we add 6 on both sides. So you get 3x equals to 15, which tells me that x must be equal to 5. Look at this equation. How is it different from this one? Here it is add, take away. But you deal with it the same way. You multiply out the brackets. Okay, 3x minus 9, 6x, take away 6. You take away 3x from both sides. You get minus 9 equals to 3x minus 6. Rewrite it again. Add 6 from both sides. 3x equals to minus 3. Remember, if minus 9 is here and this is your number line, when you are taking away or adding negative numbers, so here, negative 9 start from here, add 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where do I end up? I end up at minus 3. Okay, that's why I got this. And then you divide by 3, so you get minus 1. So, if you need to go back and look at this again, please do so. And then try the questions which are given on the worksheet. So you have very similar kind of equations there. Some equations are like this, some equations are like this. Best of luck. Bye for now.